Find out here in a few
Don't tell me you
minutes.
going live. Don't tell me you going live.
Find out here in a few minutes if I got it. Every now and then I do something with this thing, and I go, "How did I do that?" And I should have put it on paper. So therefore, when I try to do it again, then then it will work. But every now and then, I keep asking people on Twitter. If you're a computer expert and you know about this stuff, let me know, man, so I can have you come over and take a look at this here, because I know very, very little about it. I'm so busy. I don't have time to sit behind like some of these people. That's what they do all day. You know, they sit behind these computers and cause havoc. I'm like, here, put your computer skills. Let's do something about your computer skills and put them to work to help somebody instead of you being a troll online, you know. But what's going on, Dexter? How we doing, my friend? How we doing, bro?
Everything is everything. Can't complain. You know.
Yes, sir.
It's the same old thing. You know.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I can complain about what's going on outside. Everyone seems to have lost their goddamn mind. But,
dude, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to come up there with you and tell you to move over.
No, you're not. Yeah, people say that. People say that because they don't really know. But you really know, you're like, no.
Oh, I know.
Like, I'll stay outside here.
Look. I got the opportunity. You know what I tell people. I tell some of these young kids who are in jail and are pretty much on their way to prison. One of the things I always tell them, what I wish they would do is all of those kids who are in jail right now is take them down to the intake of a prison and let them watch that procedure. Let them watch how these people are well, you know what I'm talking about. How they march people in. Right? I would like to see some of these young people. You talking about scared straight? That's what these young people should see. Go ahead.
But you know something? Here's the problem, right? You're looking at kids coming into the system who started running around doing foolishness at a very young age. And they've been in and out of county, for example, county detention, bad times in the first place. So there's not that big a difference anymore between county detention and prison. That's one. That's the problem. Is like it's almost like the prison lifestyle and the prison mindset has now been it's almost been mainstreamed in certain segments of the population. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not any big. Because I know, because I see these young kids, the kids in their 20s, right? So one guy was like literally like 20 or 21 came up here a few weeks ago, you know, and he come from another facility. He'd been in the box for a long time. He'd been in, isolated housing, basically. I don't think they call it box anymore, but you know what I mean. And he wasn't. I mean, scared straight. He wasn't scared nothing. He was like, yeah, this and that, the third. I saw another last year. Some young dude came to the cell block. He wasn't in the cell block for long, but he came up talking about, yeah, I need to go. Man, I gotta go to this team. I need to go to the box. That's where I can make money.
Make money.
You know what I'm saying? So
what do we?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'll ask you that question in a second.
So, in other words, forget about I'm scared straight was good for its time, but no. And by the way, scared straight was something that was applied to kids who were still in school, who were still like signed on to mainstream social acceptable behavior. It's just people acting up in school. Okay. you're talking about, kids who, and the school system back then wasn't really working right. Okay, now a couple more generations in, forget about it. So I don't think they'll do it. So, what I think what gets to people after a while, because I've seen you see all ages here, and what seems to get to people after a while is just the wasted time, the dead hours, the futility, the uselessness of it. You know what I'm saying? After you soaked up your 10th ass whipping from guards and whoever, and however many times you had to lose your property, go to the box, go to SHU, go to RRU, whatever, this happens, that happens, you get tossed down by the guards in the yard, this happens, that. I mean, after a few times and a few years on that cycle, people just get tired. And people are like, man, I can't be bothered creating all the trouble for myself. And you hear that from the older guys, the guys who are closer to my age in the cell block, and they turn around. I've seen them turn around and try to tell the younger dudes coming up, hey, listen, something? You don't really, like everything the guards say, you don't really have to respond. You don't really have to get their face. As a matter of fact, you could go to child less often and just cut down your interactions with them altogether. Just keep a low profile and do your thing. No one's saying you can't do this, and that, and the third, whatever. Get high if you want to get high, but come on, calm down. And they don't want to listen. So, and that's from people who are affiliated and are in the same organization, and they still don't want to listen. So, things have gotten worse since the 70s, definitely. Since the scared straight era, put it that way.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
So what? So you said make money. What is that about? Wait a minute. Explain.
If you know people.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, if you know people who are in the market for whatever, and you have a cash app, and here's the thing. In what is called a box now, it's not like it used to be where you don't have access to a phone and all that stuff. Like, you pretty much have all or most of your property, and you have phone access. So it's just that certain things are limited, what have you, but you still have all that. So you can still tell people, okay, blah, 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 I'll sell you this, put this money on my cash app, what have you. It just happens like that. So yeah, people can and do make money while they're in the box. And like I said, some kids come up here talking about, man, I need to go back to the box so I can make money. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, the reason I would say I understand what you just said, but what I was saying was because when I got to watch, because like I said, I did 19 years of prison ministry and being a mentor for prisoners, and so I literally saw the intake, right, when they was bringing them in, when they, and just that alone, and I've been in prisons, I've been in Stillwater, I've been, I've been able to walk around Stillwater prison and things like that. And even though I knew I was going home, that at the end of me going in preaching to these prisoners, just the feeling of being in there was just, my whole body felt wrecked. Oh my God, I can't even explain it to you. Well, shit. Yes, I can, because you're doing it. That's where you're at.
Yeah.
That's where you're at now.
Yeah, and look, I've been through the intake process, and I've been through the transit process, which is also its own kind of ordeal. I've been through the long-term reception process. It is what it is, and a lot of kids out there who are not afraid of that.
Yeah.
Who are not. Yeah. I mean, what they're most afraid of is landing in a dorm or in a cell block where there's there's people from an adversarial gang, and there's no one from their side. That's that's what they tend to be afraid of. So people go after you. You have no one to kind of back you up. But in terms of like just the intake process and whatever, like I said, unfortunately, all this stuff has become normalized.
Hey, John. John Cryer is on with us, so I just want to throw that out there real quick to say hey to John.
Cryer?
Yeah, good guy. Met him, was able to meet him, talk to him a few times on the phone. Good wife. He's a good wife. So I just want to say hey to John. Hey, so I don't know everybody's going, well, wait a minute, Rev, what's going on? I know we know it's a Sunday, but I didn't know we was gonna be. I would have put it out there, but by the time Carl hit me up while I was in church, and then I had to go do words of encouragement at a second church. So I literally been gone from 11. I left my house at 15 after 10, and I did not walk in my door today until 5 o'clock. So I've been in church all day.
Wow.
So that's where I've been. Luckily, I did not preach at my church today, but I went to another church that they were having their anniversary. So I was able to preach at their church for their anniversary on today. But yeah, man. So that's what I was thinking. But if you're telling me that these kids are immune to being afraid of what it's like just walking in the door of the prison now, once you see them, if you tell, then we're in trouble, man. We're in trouble.
We've been in trouble. Hell yeah. I mean, look. You got. I mean,
man.
Back in the day, you used to have in the neighborhood, right? You used to have hustlers and people who did this, and that, and third who were in the system. But back in the day, even they used to, when they came home, they said, "Hey, listen, young blood, don't be like me. Hit those books, right? Stay in school, what have you." Okay. Now you got a whole generation of entertainers who are like, "Yeah, be exactly like me. The hell with books." Right? I mean, we have been in trouble. In fact, I remember the day. I remember where I was when I heard that Kanye West, no less than Kanye West, who's not even one of these guys who's been in the system or what have you. Kanye West was like, "Yeah, the hell with books." That's the day when he was dead to me. I was like, you know something? Yeah. This is long before he went crazy. I was like, you know something? Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing this person has to say. You're a black man in this day and age, and you're denigrating books and reading. I'm done with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
So have you been keeping up? Have your mama and you're able to keep up with what's going on in New York?
Yeah,
with the mayor.
I mean, I know. I know. Eric Adams dropped out of the mayor's race.
Right.
I guess only dangled for that kind of temptation, and he said, "Okay." Meaning money. And I think, I heard he's endorsed Andrew Cuomo, which is not surprising. I mean, in other words, it's not hard to get someone with no integrity to endorse somebody. I mean, that's not hard at all.
Right.
So that wasn't surprising. And it looks like Mamdani is still ahead in all the polls. I mean, I do have some questions about who is being polled and what have you.
Uh-huh.
I learned some time ago that, for example, the turnout in the last New York mayoral election, the turnout overall, irrespective of party, was about 20%. 20%. So the funny thing to me, right, is that people in other parts of the country or people who don't know anything to look at that turnout, it looks like Mamdani in the lead and they say, "Oh, well, that's what New Yorkers want." Well, what percentage of New Yorkers? Because again, last election, 20% turnout.
Hmm.
So this is what I keep saying. It's like these people are beatable. People like Zoran Mamdani are beatable. People like Eric Adams are beatable. People like Andrew Cuomo are beatable. People like Kathy Hochul are beatable. But conservatives have to show up and start talking sense. And until they do that, we get what we get. But that number always struck me, and I, if you remember, I had been saying similar things long before. I said, don't just look at, this percentage he got this percentage of the vote. Yeah, so and so, whatever liberal or progressive with stupid ideas got this percentage of the people who turned out. But if only 1/5 of the population turned out, and you got 80-90% of that, well, I'm not that impressed. But unfortunately, my Republican, my brethren out there who are Republicans seem to be very easily impressed. They're easily impressed and they're easily frightened. You know what I'm saying? And they're easily dissuaded. It doesn't take much to get them to give up and decide not to fight, which is a shame. Because we've got to live with the foolishness that people like Zoran Mamdani come out with. It's a real shame. But the good news, I think the good news here is this. Of course, I hope he doesn't win because it's going to be bad for my city. I'm a New Yorker. I don't wish bad things on my city.
Right.
But at the same time, Kathy Hochul is endorsed Mamdani. Hakeem Jeffries, that other punk, he endorsed Mamdani as well. So if Mamdani gets elected and he takes office and starts to screw things up, it's going to be, they're going to be tied to that now, which, is good for New York because it's going to be bad for those Democrats, so.
Yeah, I was about to. You beat me to him, Hakeem Jeffries, who decided that he's gonna throw his name and just his name alone should tell you how bad the Democratic, how bad he's the leader. This is the leader of the Hakeem Jeffries is the leader of the Democrat. This is why I can't deal with the Democrats. This is the very reason why they got this idiot talking about being the leader of the party. No, he's a leader because of his skin. That's the only reason this man is there. He's not qualified to be the leader of a pack of chimpanzees. He's not.
Wow.
I'm just saying. This buffoon and the Democrats.
In the lead, I wouldn't trust him to lead a drinking song.
I wouldn't, man. But you know what? The Democrats. The only reason he's up there is the color of his damn skin. That's it. That you talking about when you talking about DEI, that's him. That's him in a nutshell. And then he decides to go to New York and say, you know what? We've screwed up DC, so I'm going to go help screw up New York. I've screwed up my area so bad. His area, if Hakeem Jeffries really wanted to, he'll clean up his area. He would.
I thought he was
right.
He was a New York politician. He was from DC before.
Say again.
I thought he was a native New Yorker. You're saying he was in politics in DC before he became a New York politician?
No.
Where's
No.
the base?
What? Why am I drawing a blank here on this bonehead?
I thought he was a New York politician.
No, he's a New York politician. But what I'm saying is where he decided he screwed up his area, his little district. He's no different than the other than the other one that's right over the bridge from him.
Okay.
What's his name? What is his name? Is it Cory Booker?
Cory Booker?
Yeah.
Cory
Them
Booker,
two.
yeah.
Them two idiots.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Here's the interesting thing. Like, I thought about Cory Booker's history, because I was paying attention when he was mayor of Newark. Cory Booker actually did a lot to help clean up Newark. Like, even though, of course, Newark under Sharp James who was the mayor of Newark before Cory Booker. I mean, that wasn't a very high bar, right? Like, improving things from Sharp James is not a very high bar. But he actually did do some things to improve Newark. The problem with Cory Booker is that immediately he said, okay, now I've got to run for higher office. You know, and he was like, yeah, I want to be in the federal legislature. And once he got there, he just started to kind of beclown himself. That's a real shame. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it and then we had I'm trying to think of the buffoon. I'm using that word a lot tonight because I've anyway, that Jamal what's his face came here to Minneapolis. He yeah, he's that knucklehead that pulled the fire alarm. What is his name?
Oh, in the Capitol building.
Yeah, that bonehead.
Like that, right?
Yeah, so that knucklehead. Yeah, he came here to Minneapolis to door knock for this socialist that we have that wants to turn the state of Minnesota into crap. Bottom line, flat out horse shit if this man gets into office. So he brought his so he came in today. I think it was today he came to Minneapolis to door knock with this knucklehead. Right? Yeah. So it's like New York is trying to outdo Minneapolis right now. Right? Yeah. And both are going to fail. They're going I just don't see the policies, you know. And if you say something against these people, you're what did she call me? I forgot some name this chick called me today. She's on one of the ramps of Islamophobia or something like that. Because
here's the thing, right? It's like here's the thing. You know, Zohar Mandani, for example, has bad ideas no matter what religion he professes.
You have 1 minute left.
His ideas are terrible.
Exactly.
To be phobic. You know what I'm saying? His ideas are terrible.
Exactly. Hey, you got that minute, Dexter.
That's a thing people say. Yeah, I got Minute Maid in my ear. Yeah, so that's just a thing people say to try to stop the conversation. That's all. To try to change the subject. So I don't even really pay attention to that. Like if someone says that, I'm like, okay, you just trying to I understand you don't seem to win the argument because you can't and you want to change the subject, which is fine. I'm gonna drop and call you back. Right?
Okay, sounds like a deal, bro. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Yep.
The caller has hung up.
Hey now. Worms, how we doing, man? How's it going? Hey, back at you. We didn't know we was going to do this tonight, so I just want to throw that out there. Usually I try to put something out to say I'm going to be talking to Dexter on Sundays because of Carl is in the hospital right now as we're speaking. I didn't know when I was getting out of church today because I had, like I said, went to my church and then I ended up going to another church. I had to preach at that church. And so Carl hit me up today and was like, hey, let's get it done. So because he did it at church, I didn't have time. And by the time I got home, I had to pet my dog, kiss my wife, grab something to eat real quick, take my dog out, play with him for a minute, bring him back in, and boom, I'm down here with you guys. So that's been my day today. That has been my day. But usually on a Sunday, we do try to get Dexter on, talk to Dexter to find out how Dexter has gone. If you new here, we are actually talking to Dexter Taylor, who we consider to be our political prisoner. He is in prison right now. He is in upstate New York.
You new here, we are actually talking to Dexter Taylor, who we consider to be our political prisoner.
What was that about?
He is in prison right now. He is in upstate New York.
I'm getting back feed. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, Reverend Tim. I thought I had myself on mute.
Oh, hey.
We're back.
Oh, Carl, real quick, before you jump off.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I mean, as you said in the broadcast, I'm in the hospital. I'm sure Dexter probably told you briefly about it. Sorry I had to put myself on mute when we first got started because my nurses and stuff was in here.
Okay.
I had a stroke about 15 days ago.
Oh, wow, dude.
And my blood pressure has been out of control ever since. So I've been recovering in the hospital. They've been trying to get it under control. They think they kind of identify what the problem is. I have a hereditary enzyme that's in my kidney, in my kidneys, that causes high blood pressure. It's like a hormone that causes high blood pressure. So they're gonna see if they're gonna confirm it tomorrow, and then they're gonna adjust my medications based off of that.
Wow. Well, like I told you before, I did put you on the prayer list at church. We did add you in our prayers, and hey, I will definitely put you on my morning prayer list so I can pray for you in the morning, brother. And I hope and pray that everything turns out right, that the doctor's hands are being held by God and his eyes are being sighted by God. So they get this right, man. They get this right.
I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. But,
Definitely.
as my friend here, Dexter, would say, the show must go on.
Yes,
We got to get these people out here right when it comes to the political side of things. I'm sure you guys got a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna let y'all continue that. And
All right,
go back on.
All right, man. We'll talk to you. All right. Well, that was Carl. If people don't know who Carl is, because Carl don't usually come on and talk with Dexter. Every now and then he jumps in with Dexter and I, but Carl is the guy who's behind this whole thing. This would not be possible if it was not for Carl. And I am overwhelmed that this man right now is laying in a hospital bed, but yet and still his heart is big enough to give you and I the opportunity to sit here and chit chat on this thing. So I thank Carl. I want everybody under the sound of my voice. I don't care if you don't pray. I'm asking you to pray now that this man, a new father, that's another thing we forget. This man is a brand new father, right? He's a brand new father, and we need him around to make sure that little boy that he got grows up and be just as strong of a man as his father is.
That's right.
So it's like that. So please, people, if you're listening to me, you're hearing what you're on here with us tonight, and thank you all for hanging out with us. Let me say that. But right now, I believe in prayer. I really, really honestly do. And so please, ma'am and sir, when you're at your altar at your church, in the mornings when you pray, at night when you pray, please put Carl's name in that prayer. Please. So I'm going to say that. And with that said, we was just talking about New York and somewhat of Minnesota. I'm gonna throw that in there. But as I was saying before you jumped off, these two states. No, what I was saying before you jumped off is how when people want to try to shut you up, because they've been trying to shut me up here in Minnesota, right? So they throw that whole you hate Somalis and you hate Somalians and all this here type of stuff. No, I just hate their mindset. I don't hate them as I don't hate anybody as a person. I mean, I'll sit and talk to a Klan member. I don't hate anybody. What I don't like or I dislike is the mindset of a person. That's totally different. And it has nothing to do with color. Nothing to do with color. All right?
It doesn't even have to do with national origin, because if you think about it, there's a lot of us whose people came from somewhere else, and decided to bet on this country, right? Decided to actually build a family and become part of the political fabric of this country, right? But that's the thing. You have to choose that. And I think a lot of people, partly because of the actions of, certain American presidents and other politicians, have decided, I'm just coming to the U.S. because I can get money that way, right? There's free money for this and free money for that, and they're not really invested. Well, that's a problem. That's a problem. And we also have politicians and political influencers who don't seem to understand the difference between privileges and rights. You hear people you probably heard it, Reverend, people like Letitia James talk about, opposing attempts to enforce immigration law. She talks about that as violating people's rights. Well, now, hold on a second. The right to do what exactly? Is coming to the United States, no matter where you're from, is that a right? And I'm pretty sure that's a privilege. That's a privilege. I mean, I've been to other countries, right? And it's you go there and there's a point of challenge, and they're going to act like, why are you here? What did you come here for? Who knows you? What's your thing? What's your background? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, when do you leave me? You know what I'm saying? Then if they feel like it, they'll stay at your visa with their passport, right? They don't have to let you in because it's not a right. I don't have a right to go to Venezuela and make my home there just because I want to.
Right.
And Venezuelan, and precisely because I think a Venezuelan is my equal as a human being, he doesn't have the right to come to my country and make his home because he wants to. He has to ask. And maybe the answer will be no. Well, so be it. Right? So this is really basic, and I think a lot of political figures have either forgotten the basics or would like other people to forget the basics because they have a plan. And specifically, in cases in the case of the last few years, with kind of out of control immigration, I mean, we know that is a plan. That's part of the Democratic Party plan to skew census numbers so they can get more representation for Democrat-run areas. It's not even a matter of voting. It's a matter of, if you have this many more people and in the census, no one's distinguishing between citizens and non-citizens, then we can bump our numbers in Congress. We can punch above our weight in the legislature simply by importing large numbers of people. And if we have to spend money that we otherwise might have spent on our own residents who are citizens, then so be it. And that's why so many black folks, for example, in Chicago, are furious with the mayor, with Brandon Johnson. Because how is it that, Chicagoans are trying to get this and that, trying to make this and that happen, and the city is always in their way, the city always has hands out for more money, the city is always, but people can just show up from some other country and, you're getting free this and free that and free the other. That just doesn't work. And it's like you said, it's not a matter of hatred. In fact, I wish more people on the political left would just stop and think about people from other countries as actual people. And if you think, as I do, that yes, a Mexican or a Venezuelan or Somali is a human being like me, well, then we think you'll understand right away. Well, yes, every country has its own borders, and every country naturally expects to exert control over its borders. And if it's not hatred for Somalia or any other country to say, yeah, you can't come in here, then it's not hatred for us to say, hey, you can't come in here. And if I overstay my visa in Japan or in Mexico or in Canada, they get to go after me and say, hey, no, you got to go now. Okay, so if you come here and overstay your visa or this, that, and the third, well, yeah, they get to go after you, put hands on you and say, hey, you got to go now. And that's it. But again, for them, it's not actually about immigration as such. It's about the Democratic Party is realizing that their star is fading among certain populations, and they need a new demographic to boost their representation. That's what it's about. They don't care what they have to do, and they're panicking because lo and behold, you have an executive in the White House who actually acts like he's serious about enforcing immigration law. That's new. Regardless of party, that's new. Republicans never really did that, nor is the Democrats. The system was broken no matter who was in the White House. Why? Because they liked it that way. Now it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just, well, I let them say what they want. But I just don't believe in socialism. I don't believe it. I don't believe it'll ever work. I think it'll hurt. And what a lot of black people don't understand is it's going to hurt. Socialism, if done the way that they want to do it here in Minnesota, it's going to hurt the black community more, because socialism basically completely leaves the black community out. Because I'm not stupid enough to sit here and believe that if you hand the keys to this city to someone who's associated with allegedly a group of people who time and time again here in the state of Minnesota has been caught for stealing money, that group have been left and right. Every time we turn around, there is something different, something new about them stealing taxpayers' money right here in the state of Minnesota. That has happened right here. It's crazy. It is out of hand. And here's the bad part about this situation. We're probably $1 billion plus taxpayers' money that has been stolen by one group of people, and they still have not got to the bottom of it. They're only in the middle of this situation. They haven't even gotten to the bottom of it, man. And I'm supposed to be okay with handing over the keys to the largest city in this state to somebody like that? Are you out your damn man? Y'all done lost your mind. Y'all done lost your mind. And this has nothing to do with him being a Somalian. Because I never said one word about this man when they took Jeff Hayden's seat and gave it to him and put him in that Senate seat. I never said a word about it. I never said a word about this man when he was running around here calling himself a Democrat. Never said a word. But once he came out and said that he was a true socialist, and then watch this here. Hold on, it was a wrap. Once he said that, I'm on you now. You mine, and I don't care what you say about me. You can call me. They call me Dexter. They call me some of everything, brother. I don't care. I don't care. But at the end of that, like I keep telling them, just call me the child of God. Because my Bible tells me that I am to go out and shine light on what is evil. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what it says in my Bible. Shine light on what is evil. I'm shining light on anyway. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. So they can get mad at me. They can get pissed at me. They can call me names. I've been a racist. I've been a homophobe. All because I don't want boys in girl sports. I was just down in Shakopee at the women's Shakopee prison. I went down there. I was asked to come down there to speak on the situation where these men who call themselves women, transvestites or whatever you want to call them, transformers.
Don't start.
No, man. Look. I have zero respect. Zero respect for when you invade a woman's space. When you as a man invade, I have zero respect for the people.
But you know what's so funny? It's like, look, it's like they're invading these spaces, in that, especially spaces of prison. It's like they couldn't do it unless the politicians were like, yeah, this
exactly.
is a good idea.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
I'm like, wow, so you really just signed off on this.
Exactly.
Y'all were like, yeah, we should do this.
You committed a crime as a man. Put your ass into jail with men. Period, point blank. So, no, I'm not. I'm not. And then listening to these women who are afraid of these men in these prisons, who have been assaulted by some of these men in these prisons, is heartbreaking, man. And for these lame ass Democrats that we have here in this state of Minnesota, they're pathetic. They're pathetic. People always sit there and go, "Oh, Rev, you're black. You should be a No. See that, right?
No.
Help me. Go ahead.
That ain't how that works at all.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, that ain't how that works at all. It's like you got to be who's for you. You know, you got to be. So, you know, I mean, I say all the time that, you know, and you and I talk about this. The Republican Party definitely has a race problem.
True.
True. You're a black voter, right? Black American. The Republican Party is not your friend, but the Democratic Party is definitely your enemy. That's how that works.
Malcolm said it best.
100%. They're the enemy. They're the enemy of black progress. They're the enemy of black advancement. They're the enemy of the black family because the black family is a subset of the American family. And these people want to destroy the American family. And none of this, by the way, none of this is secret. None of this is something that you need to. I mean, it's like I remember, Rev. I remember reading BLM's manifesto, the Black Lives Matter manifesto, back before they changed it. And I read this, yeah, we want to dismantle, we want to destroy the traditional family. They said it out loud.
Yes, they did.
You can read it right there on the website.
We all read that, Dexter.
Okay, so I said, we're done. We're declaration of war accepted. I don't care what you call yourself. I don't care how turned up you get because something happened in the street with a white cop. I don't care. Like, if you believe that the way to progress is to destroy the family, then we're done. Like, you're the enemy. And the fact is the Democratic Party was all on board with that because that's part of their agenda. And so it shouldn't be surprising to us that if the social stands up and runs in New York or in Minneapolis, that the Democrats are going to be behind that too. You know, if the Democratic Party as a whole has any problem with Zohar Mamdani, that he's moving too fast, you know, or he's saying the part out loud that they wanted to say in secret, quietly. But that doesn't matter. The agenda is the same. And that agenda, like you said, it's not good for black Americans. It's not good for Americans across the board. So that's the problem. On the other hand, now, here's the other problem. Well, where are the conservatives? Where are they? And what are they doing? You know something? I read on the AP Newswire some time ago, a week or two maybe it's been now. There was some chat room online. I think it was on Telegram, on the Telegram social media service. And a bunch of these New York Young Republicans. The New York Young Republicans. New York Young Republicans.
I got that down.
Chat room.
I got that down here to talk about. We talking about. We are having that conversation tonight.
Yeah. Listen, they got in there. They talk their little shit like they always do, and this and that, and black people that. And then, of course, someone leaked it, and now it's a big problem. Now, and the interesting thing is this, right? Like when I hear stuff like that, first of all, it doesn't surprise me. And that itself should be an indictment of the way Republicans get down. It's like, why are you not surprised when you hear that this has been happening with New York? You're not surprised in the least. That's the first thing. Well, that's because they have cultivated that reputation. They have, not the Democrats. Don't blame the Democrats. We believe in personal responsibility. We're conservatives. So no, that's you. That's one. The other thing that is more serious is it's like, look, at the end of the day, you and I know that it doesn't neither of us cares if someone talks shit about us or our people or in other words, that doesn't hurt me. It doesn't harm me. It neither breaks my leg nor fixes my pocket. But here's the problem, right? The Democrats are really breaking my leg and fixing my pocket. The Democratic Party has really been helping us to death for more than half a century. And my question is this. Why is this the only time we hear about the New York Young Republicans? That is to say, where are their position papers, right? Where are their meetings about, the future of New York? Where are their online chat groups about, here's, 10 ways to come to 10 talking points to attack this liberal progressive position with? Where are their ideas, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Where are their ideas? They have none. And that's a problem. That's a problem. And don't tell me, oh, well, no, they really do have ideas, but no. Listen, if you're in this business for real, in the politics business, and presumably the New York Republicans didn't just assemble last month, okay? If no one knows about your ideas, you don't have any.
You don't have any. Thank you.
That's much worse. I don't, something? I accuse the young Republicans, the New York Young Republicans, of being something far worse than being racist.
Oh wow!
I accuse them of being boring. You know what I'm saying? I accuse them of being lame. I accuse them of being retarded. I accuse them of being losers. That's what I accuse them of. By all means, talk your shit, but don't be some loser.
Right. Right.
By the way, let me just do a side rant here. I was disappointed with the way the vice president responded to it.
Thank you very much.
Right?
Appreciate it.
Because he just kind of roughed it off. Oh, the pearl question. But first of all, ain't nobody wearing pearls around here, so we're not doing that. I don't care about pearl clutching. It's like I have a problem because we have a political contingent of so-called conservatives who are screwing around and playing grab ass when they're supposed to be fighting the people who are running our cities into the ground, who are literally doing us to death. They're supposed to be the opposition to that, and they're not serious. And if I were vice president, what I would have said is, listen, New York Republicans, of course you have the God-given right to say whatever bullshit that comes to your mind in a chat room or anywhere else. But why don't you, I suggest gently, why don't you grow the fuck up and fight Huh? Why don't you stop being pussies and actually fight these people?
There you go, man.
Why don't you man up? You feel what I'm saying, Rev?
I know exactly what you're saying, bro.
Some of my best friends are racist. So I don't give a fuck. But I'm saying, man up and fight. But they don't want to fight. You know what they're first, and you know what they're good at? They're good at running away. They're good at saying, well, you should just move out of New York because the Democrats, you should just leave. These some of the same people who, when my case came down, when I went public with my case, came out the side of their neck talking to me like, well, you just live in the wrong state. So stupid. I don't live in the wrong state. I live in New York. I live in the Empire State. Kathy Hochul lives in the wrong state. Patricia James lives in the wrong state. North Korea would be more their speed. Let them move. I'm saying right here. And I expect to have to find that spirit among especially young people who call themselves conservative. I mean,
no,
I'm over half a century. Wait,
them Republicans now. Don't get conservative. Hold on now.
No, wait. Let me finish this though.
Well, go ahead.
I am over half a century. I'm over half a century old, and I'm in prison. So if you're young, whatever you call yourself, supposed to be conservative, and you don't have ideas, and you don't have plans, and you don't have tactics, and you don't have strategy, and you don't have any kind of fight in you, and all you see fit to do, all that amuses you, is to stack up in a chat room and talk bullshit and antagonize the people who a sensible person would think we want to change their minds. If that's all you have, then you're useless. In fact, you're worse than useless. Because you're messing up the whole. You're further messing up. I can't say messing up because they've been doing that. You're further messing up. You're further degrading the image of your party. And that's a problem. And I would have expected someone like J.D. Vance, especially given that, listen, he wrote a book called Hillbilly Elegy. And if you just read some excerpt from the book like I did, you will see immediately that he is talking about something that's very real and very serious. You know, he's showing how the dysfunction you find in the hood is very much like the dysfunction you find in the trailer park.
Dude, I've been saying that for years.
It's a parallel.
I've been to West Virginia. I've been to West Virginia.
This should be a rallying cry.
Thank you very much. But you can't make them see that, Dexter.
No. I mean, but here's the thing. He wrote the book, so I can't, if he can't see it, let's put it this way.
They don't want.
If J.D. Vance can't see how important that book is to populist conservatism, I don't know what to tell him. If J.D. Vance doesn't see that can't see that he is actually hit upon the very thing, the keystone of the kind of spirit we need to fight Democrats, not just in rural areas, but in the cities. If he can't see that, I don't know what to tell him. Not to mention, by the way, that he is the vice president to a president that this past November showed that it is possible for Republicans to get wins in these supposed Democratic strongholds. He showed that. The numbers are clear.
Not Minnesota.
What is all this laziness? What is all this slackness? What is all this? You see what I'm saying?
No, but understood. Everything you just said is flat true. And let me also add this here. Knowing that where the percentage of the black vote, especially the black man vote, I would think, I'm just put it out there. I would think that they would want to capitalize on that, right? And the last thing,
1 minute left.
And the last thing they needed was for these young Republicans, and I don't even call them young because half of them was over 25. These Republicans who put this racist crap out there, I would think they would want those people out of the party. Shut up. Don't do this. But anyway, you got a minute. Hey, let's do one more segment because I've got something I gotta get done here.
No problem. No problem.
All right.
Cool.
The caller has hung up.
All right, people. Like I said before, again, I just want to apologize to those who usually is hanging out with Dexter and I. I did not put this out there because, like I said, I've been running around all day. I had to basically preach at 2 churches today, and Carl hit me up, and so we just put this together because we hadn't talked to Dexter in a little bit. For anybody who's new here, this is who we call our political prisoner. Well, I'm not going to say our. I'm just going to say mine. Everybody else can speak for themselves. But Dexter is in prison right now for the most. Look, so Trump the other day let out this crypto guy. He also let out that congressman who was guilty as all get up. Let's be real. Right? Trump should be fighting for Dexter Taylor right now. Or somebody in that White House should let them know. And I think they know because I think a lot of us have written, because I know I have. I've hit Don Jr. up. I've hit Ivanka Trump up. I've hit everybody that can come anywhere. I even went over on Truth Social. I threw up, but I went over there. And
Be back, Remington.
Thank you much. And tried to hit up Donald Trump over on True Social to say Dexter Taylor. But he can pardon all of these here criminals. And that's what he's doing. Come on. The crypto guy, come on. Come on, people. He can pardon him.
Yeah, but he can't. But no, he can't pardon you.
Well, he can't pardon you, but what he can do is he can put you on world stage. Only thing Trump has to say is Dexter Taylor. He don't even have to even explain who you are. Just say Dexter Taylor, and boom, you have blown up to all like crazy. But anyway, that's my rant. That's my rant on Dexter and Donald Trump. But no, getting back to that situation we was talking about. You would think that the Republican Party, after getting a springboard jump in the black community with these, that they would be like, hell yeah, let's go after this. Let's put something together to put, that crazy Brexit crap that they put out that was phony, baloney, a money grab. Let's put out something serious. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Call me up.
Yeah.
Trump, call me up. Let me show you how to do this. You don't know how to deal with black people. And even the black people that you have running in your circle have no clue how to deal with black people. That's what the Republicans' problem is. The Republicans don't know how to really honestly deal with black people. Period, point blank.
I think it's worse than that. It's worse than that. Look, the fact is, I've said this before, and I'll keep saying, there's nothing special they have to do.
I keep telling them that, Dexter.
There's no special way you have to talk to us. Just talk to us about the same shit you say in the suburbs.
No,
talk to us about the same thing it's like, bro, everyone complains taxes too high.
Yeah.
Right?
Got a point.
Complaining all the infrastructure, this and that, mother. Listen, just talk about that same stuff. And by the way, just keep talking about the Second Amendment. Just don't forget that the Second Amendment exists, because now you're talking like folks in cities. Those Second Amendment rights are vital to us as well. And so, yeah, fundamentally, we have a political party that is supposed to represent conservatism. And the problem is, too many people in that party too many of the high-level operatives, in that party, are just lazy and uninterested in going on a fight. And even too many of the influencers you read online, it's like they're not serious. It's like they don't think we're in a war for the future of our civilization.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Well,
it's obvious that we are in a war for the future of our civilization.
Well, that's who they should get a hold of, like your Matt Walsh. The Republican Party should come out and say, we disavow this man. This man don't speak.
They don't have to disavow.
Huh?
They don't have to disavow anything. Look, seriously.
No, but that's what they should.
Right?
That's what they should do.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. No. I don't believe in telling someone to disavow someone else. I don't believe in that, because the fact is, that's a thing that I've seen used against us. You know, when someone is saying something, some black figure says something that's actually interesting or true, what have you, and someone doesn't like it, say, well, you have to disavow this person. I don't believe in that. You don't have to. In other words, I don't believe in asking someone to condemn anybody. First of all, it's for God to praise or condemn, ultimately. That's the first thing. The second thing is, all I want them to do is come and talk about basic kitchen stuff, because at the end of the day, Matt Walsh neither breaks my leg nor picks my pocket. If dumb ideas, such as they are, do not really affect me. So I don't need a political figure to even weigh in on Matt. Well, that's your business. If you like Matt Walsh, if you follow him on Twitter, if you have him over to dinner every Thursday, that's your business. I want you to come to these places and talk about conservative ideas. I want you to come to New York and talk about conservative ideas. I want you to come to New York and talk about smaller government. I want you to come to New York and talk about zero-cost permitting, one-stop permitting, or no permitting center, yes, for a lot of these industries, for a lot of these things that people do and will want to do, and the government the local government puts too many barriers in their way. I wanted to come and talk about actually building more housing, trying to revise the zoning laws to make it easier to work in the same place where you live. You know, I want to hear some ideas. And that's my problem. It's like I'm not hearing ideas from these people. All I'm hearing is bullshit and excuses.
Right.
And it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But Matt Walsh hurts the Republican Party. Because
here's that part, yeah.
But what I'm saying, he hurts the Republican Party in a sense of going black. Black people look over there and go, "Hey, I want to go check out Republicans. Who are Republicans listening to?" And then boom, they hit Matt Walsh up. We're gonna sit there and go, "There's no way in the world I'm gonna go and hang out with these ignorant buffoons."
But let's be fair. Matt Walsh wouldn't be a problem if it was only him. It's not only him.
No, right. But I just use, because he's the biggest one out there. Because he's the biggest one out there right now. I just use him for, that's who.
What I'm saying is this, Rev. I don't know if he's the biggest. I don't care. The problem is that it's simply not just him.
Right.
Okay, long before Matt Walsh became a thing.
Oh, yeah,
the Republican Party was doing this shit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Good point.
Long before he became a thing, right? They could not help themselves to get up on their hind legs and right away they come up with some bullshit. I mean, this is okay. Now, what I'm saying is this. You don't have to condemn. I'm making it as easy as possible. Don't disavow anyone. Don't condemn anyone. Just stop antagonizing voters when you really need to be antagonizing the politicians. That's one. Go and talk to people respectfully. And by the way, you're stupid and you live in a shithole is not a respectful way to address someone whose vote you're asking for. Just a pro tip, right?
Right.
That's not really, come and talk to us. Again, the way you talk to our suburban brethren, the way you talk to our rural brethren. That's all. This is not hard. There's no special code phrase, bro. Come talk about smaller government. Come talk about, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and respecting those things. Come talk about infrastructure. Come talk about immigration. We're ready to hear that.
Especially immigration.
So especially immigration. Exactly. I mean, you've seen some of the videos on YouTube. I mean, black folks in Chicago are ready. They're ready to run Brandon Johnson out of town.
Oh, black folks here are the same way, man. We're the same way.
Unless there's an alternative.
Look. Watch this here. And this is what I tell the Republican Party here in Minnesota. You want to know how you can come into the community? Just like you said. Right now, immigration. You come in and you speak truth to power to immigration, right? Because we at the end of the day, black folks and Republicans will agree on immigration. There's no doubt about that. I can tell you just by sitting in the barbershop and at the churches that I go to.
Listening.
Number two,
that's right.
The gun violence and the gun crime that goes on in the community and why that's happening. I give them two things that is right in their face right now today that they can come into the black community and go, what can we do? How can we help? And here is some of our understanding and our ideas. If they came into the black community, what's that?
Here's the problem. You talk about guns. Well, what you mean is violence perpetrated using guns, right?
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
When Republicans come into our community and talk about so-called gun violence, you know what their solution is? To remove the Second Amendment. That's their solution. Or to keep ignoring it. That is their solution. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Because first of all, each of us, and you've heard me say this before, Rev, like, we are the first responders. We are the first responders. The people who were there on the block when the bullshit jumps off.
Right.
We are the second responders. Someone calls them and they come, but we're already there. And we need to be able to defend our homes and our businesses and our families and our lives against people who are running around doing things they should not do. And so the Second Amendment is vital, just like it's vital to our brethren in the suburbs and the rural communities in the red states. It is vital to us as well. And, yes, you're right. They should come and talk about it. But it's not good enough to say, what can we do? Because if you say, what can we do? Someone's going to say, well, ban all the guns. And what the Republicans say when they're campaigning in the cities is, okay, they go right along. I mean, was Rudolph Giuliani a pro-Second Amendment mayor? Absolutely not. Was Mike Bloomberg, for God's sake, pro-Second Amendment? 100% no. We had what was the name of that Republican governor of New York? Pataki. Was Pataki a pro-Second Amendment governor? Absolutely not. So what I'm saying is, I'm with you, but I'm saying, they like. There's certain things where it's like you're not supposed to, like, okay, you can't vote away the Bill of Rights. Like, that shouldn't be up for discussion. That's what I'm saying. So by all means, come talk to us about crime. By all means, come and talk to us about ideas for how to get a handle on things and how to help keep our streets as safe as we'd like them to be. But don't get into this, well, what can we do? And then someone pipes up, well, why don't we just, pass more gun laws? And the Republicans say, great idea, because when they get to the cities, they're statists all of a sudden. They're pro-gun control statists. And so if Republicans become pro-gun control, nanny state politicians when they get to the cities, then what the hell is the point of voting for them anyway? You might as well stick with the devil you know.
Yeah, I got a point.
Right?
John,
right? Go on.
Yeah, John Collier. John Collier said he said we need no more parties. See, that's a good idea, but John, what I've learned is people act like they need to be in a party. Then he said we need real people for the people, not BS lame scream media. Yeah, man. I've said that. I get people who are upset at me because I will not carry water for the Democrats, nor will I carry water. I like I said, I consider, I'm like you. We consider ourselves, and that's why I always, when people say conservatives, I like to make sure that we make people understand that there's a Republican and there's a conservative. I like to break that up. Yeah,
it should be the same. But
they should be the same, but they're not. They're not. My grandfather died as a conservative. My grandfather voted for Richard Nixon as he's being a Republican. But he died as a conservative. He never changed parties. He never made the switch at all. Because he believed in the very philosophy that when the Republican Party first started with the black people, that whole mindset that they went into, he still believed in that. He still believed that the Republican Party actually believed in what they began the party to be about. That's what my grandfather believed. That's why he stayed with the Republican Party. That's why he couldn't go over and be a Democrat. Because he believed in the foundation of what the Republican Party said that they were going to be and who they were going to be. And then they turned around and kicked black people in the ass. That's what happened.
Yeah, very early on too. You know, like a lot of people like to well, you know, some people who don't know me, they start to lecture me on the whole, well, you know, the Republican Party was this and that. It's like, listen, first of all, go sit down and watch the documentary, The Great American Race Game. That documentary says everything that you were going to say to me, and I'm the one doing voiceover narration. So miss me with the lecture. But the fact is, what no one wants to say is that, well, shortly after emancipation, shortly after the end of the Civil War, the Republican Party, I believe starting in Texas, tried to purge all the black people from the party. And they called that the newly white Republicans. Nobody wants to talk about that. You see, and as a church man, Rev, you'll understand when I say that a lot of what's dogging the Republican Party is a very ancient and very deadly sin, and that's pridefulness. It's pride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It is possibly the very deadliest sin there is. Just if you look at Scripture and if you think about just from a common sense perspective, because pride shuts out information. Pride severs the connection between you and other people, meaning it severs the connection between you and God. And you can be wrathful, but your wrath can dissipate, right? You can be lustful, but your lust can dissipate over time. You can be all these other things, but if you're prideful, that's the worst, because you think you're awesome. Man, I got this.
You're all that in a bag of chips, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can't tell me shit, right? If you're prideful. And this is what I see again and again and again, you know. And it's like it's killing us. It's killing the conservative movement. I'm worried that that will be what kills the populist conservative movement, which I'm very excited about. I've said it a million times. I think populist conservatism is the most exciting thing I have seen happen in American politics in my lifetime. But it's not a done deal just because you got a guy in the White House this past November. There is work to be done.
Well, what scares me?
Go on.
No, what scares me is how far right the pendulum has swung. Because when there come a day that the Democrats get their hands on that White House, it's going to be ugly. It is going to be ugly. Because first, they've got to sit here and say, well, we got to outdo everything that was done before us. And then they're going to turn around and go, all of this stuff that we wanted now, without any doors in front of us, because there's no doors in front of Trump. Trump just does whatever he wants. And people go, yay! But think about what the Democrats can do with no doors in front of them.
Yeah, but
that's scary, man.
I don't know if I'm with you on that one, because first of all, if you talk about executive orders, well, I mean,
I'm talking stuff like bombing a boat that can't even make it to America.
Okay, I have a problem with that too, but
Coast Guards, go get the boat.
Wait a minute. But let's put that aside. That's foreign policy.
Okay.
I'm in agreement with you there. Let's put that aside, because I'm talking about domestic politics now.
Okay, all right.
The fact is that if the populist conservative revolution does what it's supposed to do, then we should end up with a smaller federal government that is less able to impose its will on people, no matter who's in the White House next. And that would be a good thing. Okay? Some of these government agencies are just too big. And they're not accountable to anyone, seemingly.
True.
Okay? And I have to be fair. We've had a lot of wins. Well, we've had a number of wins over the past few months, since January, let's say, right? In terms of a Supreme Court that's willing to say, no, there are three branches of government. Three. Not 4 or 5. There are 3. So, yes, this executive agency, this three-letter agency, whatever it is, yes, the president, the executive, has the right to make personnel changes, because there are 3 branches of government. And so we hear people say, oh, well, but we wanted this political entity to be independent of politics. You know, it's funny. People say things, people hear things and repeat them without really thinking what they mean. What does it really mean that some entity, right, outside of the 3 branches of government that are laid out in the first 3 articles of the Constitution, some other agency called independent of politics? What does that mean? That means it's not answerable. That means it is not answerable to the people. That's what that means. So, for example, right, there's this big thing now with Trump trying to fire one of the governors of the Federal Reserve, and everyone's got their underwear all bunched up because, well, how dare you try to fire the Federal Reserve is supposed to be independent of politics? Really? Why? In other words, are you telling me that the organization that literally controls the money supply of this country is not accountable to the voters of this country in any way? That's crazy. And that's especially crazy because the Federal Reserve wasn't created by the framers of the Constitution. It was created by J.P. Morgan and some of its friends in government after a panic and a run on the banks in 1913 or thereabouts. So what are we talking about? So I don't have any problem with that. I mean, again, there are things that Trump does I'm not agreeing with. But I'm saying if populist conservatism does what it's supposed to do, then we should end up with a federal government that is smaller and less able to mess up people's lives. Now, foreign policy is a different matter. And yeah, I don't know what they're thinking in Washington, why they think it's suddenly acceptable to just like start blowing up boats. Be like, yeah, well, there was a bunch of drug dealers. Really? Like, I'm going to take your word for it?
Right. All right.
I mean, that seems odd to me. Okay, but putting that aside, we have a lot of this government, just domestically, the government we have goes through a lot of money, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, at some point, someone has to find a way to make that flow go in the other direction. To start to slow down the rate at which this government spends our money, because the government doesn't have money. It's our money. And again, I go back to this is what one of the things that the populist conservative movement is supposed to be accomplishing. But again, just because you have a friendly executive does not mean there's not more work to be done. There's work at the local level and at the state level, as you know. I mean, hell, take New York. You know, it's looking like Elise Stefanik might run for governor against Kathy Hochul. Well, wonderful. Let's assume she wins against Kathy Hochul. Then you'll have a Republican governor of New York. Well, better than what we have now. But that governor will have, as a co-equal branch of government, a state legislature that's chock full of Democrats. Who's talking about showing those Democrats the door? The governor can't do that. The people have to do that. And the people can't do that unless there's some kind of decent alternative in front of them. And I say a decent alternative because every time Republicans get on their hind legs and act with radical indecency in public, it damages the brand. I don't know why that's so hard for some people to understand. It's brand management and optics. And somehow Republicans seem to think that when it comes to them and them alone, branding and optics don't matter at all. Everyone else in the world thinks it matters. Right?
Exactly.
Everyone else thinks that, right? Everyone else thinks that if you have a good product or service, you still have to advertise it properly. You have to not piss off the customer base. You have to appeal to people over and above, the actual quality of your product. People will never find out about the quality of your product if you turn them off in the advertising, if you turn them off in the branding, if you turn them off in the optics. Everyone else seems to get this. Except, of course, the retarded New York Young Republicans and others like them. They think they're immune. You know what I'm saying? Like, really?
Right.
And so it is what it is, bro. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, we got a lot of work to do. And listen, I'm up for the work, and you know me, Rev. I've been talking about this forever. I've been reaching out to people. I've been saying, hey, whatever work there is to be done, sign me up. Let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. Let's take back this republic.
They don't. But here,
be able to do that. Tell me.
They don't want sensible thinking black people, right? It's almost
around period. Yeah.
Right, but you understand what I'm saying? It's like we see the problem that you guys are having, Republicans, and we're willing to help, but they don't want help. But yet they'll go out like I got here. I've got here in Minnesota, right? It's funny. I mean, it cracks me up. The so-called black people, they want to lift up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who don't come to the black community, someone who's not involved in the black community, someone who couldn't get to the black community, someone who can't talk to people. They will take that type of black person because they know that black person they can put their hand up their back and they can turn them into a Candace Owens. That's the mindset that the Republicans have when it comes to black people. We need we need a black person that if I say something bad about that black person, then I can run to you and you're going to double down on it. That's the blacks we have here in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
They don't mess with me because they know I'm not about to, number one, piss on my people and just put something out there so you can feel good about it. And number two and number three, they know I'm going to tell the truth. And that's another thing that I've learned about Republicans. They don't like the truth. It's like the girl in right now, the lieutenant governor, because I got family and I got friends in Virginia. And so right now, the big thing the Republicans are doing, they're flipping out on because Barack Obama is about to go to Virginia to
the campaign for
right. So what do the Republicans do? They go, oh, now look at Barack Obama. I remember when he was telling black people to vote for a black woman, so all of a sudden now he don't want to go tell black. Ignorance. That's just, I mean, for them to even have that mindset to put that out there, that's ignorance. Because I can turn around, but I can turn around and say the same thing about Trump. Trump won't even say her name.
Well, but the thing is this. I don't look. Like if put it this way, when I heard that Barack Obama was going to campaign for Spamberger, the thing I thought was the natural line of attack that occurred to me was.
You have 1 minute left.
Isn't this the guy who said, like, your son should have a gay friend who can tell him about his father? Like, isn't this the guy who wants to fisify?
I can't believe he said that.
I mean, in other words, you don't have to bring up race. You can just attack his dumb ideas.
Exactly. But that's not what they're doing.
Right. No, of course not. Anyway, I just heard Minute Maid, and I know you got.
No, go ahead and do your. Let's finish this up. We'll finish this up. Go ahead and do your minute, and then I'll get back with.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just finish this up.
All right, cool. I'll be right back.
All right.
The caller has hung up.
All righty, people. We're gonna go through a few more minutes here because I really want to touch base on again, and for you guys to hear it from someone else. Of just how, to me, ignorant, especially with what happened with these so-called young, which they wasn't young, so stop it. And for the vice president to come out and say what he said, as a black man, I'm just saying as a black man. Now, I understand why he did what he did. When you're used to hearing that type of language, when you're used to hearing that type of talk all the time, it's like eating the same rich cracker all the time. And then somebody bring you a rich cracker with the garlic on it. You go, I don't want that one. Give me the same because I'm used to hearing the ugly, nasty, racist tones of a talk. When when that is embedded in you, embedded in your head, embedded in your mind, you don't see nothing wrong with it because you're used to that. I'm used to calling people niggers with the hard R. I'm used to hearing that. Behind closed doors.
That, Reverend Tim.
Right? I'm used to hearing that behind closed doors. So when my vice president comes out and don't even blink an eye to the things that these people were saying, come on, people. Y'all, look, white people, y'all better than this. No, seriously, you're better than this. But you're not showing it right now. You're not showing it. Because I guarantee you the minute the Democrats get this, when they get their hands on this, y'all wait. Y'all gonna be, you talking about some people gonna be crying? And I'm gonna be right here on Twitter going, I told you so. I'm gonna be right here on Twitter. Told you. What did I tell you? Ha ha. But no, man, you back, Dexter, right? Make sure you back on it. All right. But again, like I was saying, like we were talking before, it's if the Republican Party really wanted to take advantage of what they have gained and hold on to.
Follow Trump's roadmap. Yes, follow Trump's roadmap.
Right.
Right. And consolidate their gains. Right.
Right. Right. And but what I'm saying to them is come after and get black people that's going to tell you the truth. Not what you want to hear. That's going to flat out, no ifs, ands, or buts, tell you the truth. Your vice president who sat there and, basically somewhat okay, that was wrong.
Right, it was indecent. And that's the thing. It's like, you don't have to, this is, something? I was thinking about this for a while because it really, again, I had, and maybe still have, it's been damaged, but I had high hopes for J.D. Vance. Again, because I read part of his book and I was like, wow, this guy really gets it. Okay. And, I I think this is the kind of thing that happens when you forget how to reason from first principles. J.D. Vance is not a stupid man, but you see, if you apply the instrument of reason incorrectly, you can come to very stupid conclusions. And I think a lot of our conservative brethren, or our Republican brethren, let's say, what they do is they look at what the left is doing and they reason according. They're like, the left is doing. I'm going to do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, that won't do, right? Because as you've heard me say a million times, the opposite of a bad idea is not necessarily a good idea. It's just another bad idea pointing in the opposite direction. That's all it is. So because the left, right, hears about a bunch of Republicans in a chat room saying stupid shit, right? What the right wants to do is say, oh well, it's no big deal. The left says it's the end of the world, and so we have to say that it's no big deal. But what Republicans could have said, and could still say, is, something, this is not the end of the world, but it's done. Because you're talking shit about the people who we are trying to win over to our side. We have work to do. And we need all our people. We need to change hearts and minds. We need to cut into Democrat market share anywhere we can. And you, New York young Republicans, are not helping. That's what they could say.
Yeah.
I don't have to say, well, you should be arrested for saying X. No, you shouldn't be arrested for saying X. It's your right to say it. They don't have to say, well, hate speech. I don't believe in hate speech. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in hate crime laws. I don't believe in hate speech.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, but it's just hard for them.
What they could have said is that they could have said, listen, grow up, stupid. What's the matter with you?
That's simple.
Just grow up.
That's simple.
Where are your ideas? We want to hear about your ideas. Well, how come the only time think about it, Rev, how pathetic it is. This is the most relevant the New York young Republicans have been for as long as I can remember. That's pathetic. They don't even have, right? They don't even have anything that they've done that they can point to. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just, is this what you've been working on all this time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Yeah. But like I was telling somebody on Tuesday, this guy says to me, and I kind of had to put him in place because we were going over something that Charlie Kirk said. And what Charlie Kirk said was, the black women were taking the white man's job. And I said to this dude, name me a white man's job. When he said that, you're telling me that white men have jobs that other people can't have. I said, name me a white man's job that Charlie Kirk. Right. Name me a white man's job that nobody else should be allowed to have.
Right.
He just sat there and looked at me like, and I said, exactly. That's the point that I'm making. It's stuff like that.
And again, yeah. Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, and again, you look at the way you counted it is interesting because again, no special pleading was required. You weren't making a special case for black people.
Right.
You were to obtain anything. You were like, well, listen, your reasoning is false. Your reasoning is faulty. That's all. Okay, so that's fixable. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fixable. That's a solvable problem.
But wouldn't that be privilege?
But
would that not be privilege? When we say you're privileged, you're saying we're privileged enough to have our own jobs that nobody else can have. And if somebody else do get these jobs, I need to point it out that you should not be in these jobs. So, but I need to know.
Well, I don't care what you call it. I mean, I don't care if it's frivolous. I don't care what you call it. It's just dumb. That's what I'm saying. It's just that's just
say it,
right? It's like you know what I'm saying?
Well, they it's funny to me that sometimes some of them say stupid things and act like we can't realize that what you're saying is stupid, and we can think on that and then turn your question around and see how you feel about it. But the dude just sat there and literally did not say one more. And I'm just standing there like this, going, "Hey, I'll wait. Nate, I need to know one of those jobs that white man's job. What is a white man's job? Because if you ask me, for years I did a white man's job. I'm working at an electric company, and and for years I was the only black man in my company for years. And then they finally hired another black man, and then they actually hired a Muslim woman that came in also. But for years I was the only black man at that company for years, and I spent 23 years at that company. So I guess I took one of the white man's jobs, because there was only people that worked at my work were white men. So in Charlie Kirk's world, I messed up. I shouldn't have been able to make the money that I was making. So,
I mean,
yeah, man, it's crazy.
I wish I would. Again, this is, and again, maybe Charlie Kirk said that because he really believed it. Maybe he said it because, and I think this is more likely, he was trying to oppose, DEI and whatever the left is. But here's the thing: first of all, I oppose DEI. I'm not in favor of that. I think it's poison.
But it didn't do anything. But it didn't do anything for us. White women. White women.
Well, yeah, but pepper plant. Let's forget about that for a second.
Okay.
I think it's a terrible idea to say, "Oh, we need some black ones now." Like, no. In other words, you can't run an economy like I'm saying. Yes, okay, you're talking about who benefited from it. But I'm saying beyond that. I'm going to foundational reasoning here. It's a terrible idea. And my point is that if you are part of Turning Point USA, or the New York Young Republicans, or any other so-called conservative group, you can find people like me who will tell you what I just said, that I think DEI is terrible.
Exactly.
Black man, I think it's terrible. You can, but here's the thing. They seem, put it this way, if they don't know about people like me, about conservatives like me, if they don't know about us, then at a certain point I have to believe it's because they don't want to know.
They don't want the truth. Dexter, they don't.
There should be no excuse.
Right. But they don't want the truth. We're not all. What? Brandon Tatum. What's that? That cop?
Yeah, but no one. But no one wants the truth, Rev. In other words, like everyone has trouble facing. I'm not talking.
You got a point.
I'm saying, right. So it's not like Democrats are fantastic at facing reality. These are people who don't know what a woman is. So I don't care about that. What I'm saying is, as a matter of cold-blooded self-interest, political self-interest. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I get you. I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. It is possible to find conservatives like me. They don't want to know, and that's different. And you know something? I actually kind of don't care why.
Or like Sonny Johnson. I think Sonny Johnson is more. I think she's more to. I think she's more to the right than what she likes to let on to be, right?
Okay,
but
she's a hardcore conservative.
Yeah, but her, if they're not going to uplift Sonny Johnson, they're not going to come after you and I, because I'm more militant. I'm a more militant conservative than you two. You're just as militant as I am. So, but
but what I'm saying is no one has to. But no one has. The good news is no one has to uplift Sonny Johnson. That's not necessary, right?
Right.
In other words, it's like again. This is the thing. No one has to give anyone anything. No one has to donate anything. No one has to give anyone any special place. It's like if you stop. If you're a Republican and you make the difficult, kind of daring and dangerous decision to stop thinking like a loser, well, then all of a sudden all these things are open to you. You see, that's the key. I think that's the key to keeping this populist conservatism going. Republicans have to stop thinking like losers.
Yeah, true.
And start thinking like winners, and start thinking like warriors. Really.
Well, until they get to the point to where they can start going, I need somebody exactly like that dude right there, to be able to move this needle and move the points. Then they're going to be in the same, and maybe that's what it is, Dexter. Maybe they really just want to be who they are. Maybe this Christian nationalism and this white nationalism that they're trying to roll in, maybe that's the type of world that they want. Maybe they don't want to be part of us.
Wait a minute. I have no problem with Christian nationalism. I'm a Christian. I believe in the nation. So I don't have any problem with Christian nationalism.
But I'm talking. I ain't talking about the type of Christian nationalism that you and I are talking about right now.
But what I'm saying is, you're right. But that's what I'm getting at. I refuse to let them have that term to themselves.
Are you just going to take it? So you just going to bombard in the room, and you're going to bombard in the room and take it? Is that what you?
You're goddamn right. And if someone don't like it, they can come
See, I told you you was I told you you was militant. Did I not just say that? Did I not just say that? I knew it. I didn't dispute it. I'm just saying. Like I said, we're more on the conservative militant side.
Did Christ not tell us to buy swords?
That he did.
Did Christ not tell us to buy? Okay.
That he did.
So I'm not going to say no if someone calls me militant. Good. but you see what I'm saying though? It's like
I get you, bro. I get you. I get you.
Like I reserve the right to show up anywhere and say my thing. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
It's like. So, and I reserve the right not the right, but it's like I refuse to be scared by some magic words.
Sure.
Christian nationalists, never mind the Christian nationalists. Well, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, same thing with the white, like white supremacy. White supremacy, I don't care. Like if you put it this way, you can get in your Telegram chat room and say whatever dumb shit all day, and I couldn't care less. If you come after me kinetically, make sure your weapons are zero. That's all.
There you go.
I don't want to hear no crying. I don't want to hear no crying and complaining later. So make sure your weapons are zero. Right? But, I mean, that's how we have to, right? Because seriously, I think that I think that a lot of conservatives just again they're used to well, look, they've grown up on a diet of these influences who really were kind of soft. They were kind of soft because they didn't do the iron sharpens iron thing. They'd go and they'd talk to a bunch of fuzzy-headed grad students and get them all in a tizzy, and they'd go and they'd talk to some dumb liberals over here and get them all in a tizzy, and they think they've done something beyond just kind of maybe some fundraising. And as amusing as that might be, that doesn't translate into real outcomes of the kind that we need.
All right.
Okay. You have local. You mentioned you earlier in an earlier segment. You talked about wait till these Democrats get their hands back on the levers of power. But here's the thing: in very much of the country, the Democrats already have their hands in the levers of power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, so it's not like that's what I'm saying. This popular conservative movement is not a done deal by any means. In much of the country, including in red states, they have their hands on the levers of power. Absolutely. In some cases, they're still going through and trying to get them out of these positions. A lot of these people who are just kind of seem like molds for the Democratic Party. I'll give you an example. Your girl, Letitia James. Your girl, Letitia James.
Don't put that on me. Don't you dare.
You don't want her? You don't want her? All right. So Letitia James, they got a criminal referral. Basically, the federal, was it FHFA or FH? The Federal Housing Finance Agency sent a criminal referral to the DOJ about Letitia James. Okay. Now, I mean, and you and I know that she's got 4 houses, and there's some kind of bullshit on just fraudulent bullshit related to just about all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, a grand jury is impaneled, and so and so and so. Okay. But somehow you have this U.S. attorney, right, named Eric Siebert, who pretended like, well, I can't find any evidence. He couldn't find any evidence against Letitia James, even though. You go to whitecollarfraud.com, you go to this site, that site, you can see that there's a document where she said this and the truth is that. You can see there's a document where she said her father is really her husband. You can see there's a document where the occupancy of the building is 5 units and she says 4 because you can get better mortgage rates. You can get federal help. You can see that she's refinanced this building a bunch of times, and each time she put a different wrong number down. All the wrong numbers are always wrong in her favor. And then you go back to this guy, and he's like, I don't know what the evidence is. So, okay, you got to go. Let me bring someone else in.
Right.
Now that guy was obviously, if he wasn't a Democrat, he certainly had running interference for the Democrats. And he was a Trump appointee. Right? So what I'm saying is, this is not like we're not looking at a static battlefield after the battle is over. The battle is being fought right now. The battle is for power. So it's not a matter of, wait till these people get power back. We're fighting the battle right now in all 50 states. And I've been trying to get my conservative brethren to understand this, and understand the urgency of this. And to understand that it's the very worst and very deadliest thing they can do to sit back and congratulate themselves because they live in the correct zip code, or they live in a state that is supposedly red. That's the very worst thing you can do. This is not the time to sing your own praises, no matter where you live.
Facts.
It's the time to fight. It's the time to fight. And listen, I'll fight alongside anybody.
Oh, me too, man.
That's why, I don't care about these.
Same here.
If I'm on a ship in the middle of the ocean with a racist and a fire breaks out on board ship, guess what? We're both firefighters.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly what you just said.
Right. So,
but I'm also smart enough. I'm also smart enough not to believe that there's a few in the bunch. If I open the door, that I'm not going to get bit by at least one of them. We also that smart too. But anyway, hey, let's call it a night. My other one has already been down here going. I told you 5 seconds ago, but I'm like, I ain't talked to this man in I don't know how long. So
got to catch up.
Yes, sir. And here's the funny part about it. We've been on this thing for almost 2 hours and still haven't even scraped the bottom of the barrel. That
yeah, it was perfect. Yeah, no, that's right. We're still. I mean, there's too much to talk about, but it's always a pleasure, Rev. To
yes, sir.
With you. It's always a pleasure to get a chance to talk about ideas with a fellow conservative. And listen, I'm not pessimistic at all. I'm not downhearted. I usually say to people, I'm often disappointed, but I'm never discouraged. There's a lot of work to do in our country to save our country, to save our republic, and I am up for it. I'm up for it.
So
let understand what that means.
Well, let's do this here before we get off, because, like I said, every time you and I talk, it's funny how just new people engage with us.
Yes, sir.
let them. So you at least got to let them know if they want to do something, if they want to help you out, if they want, that's what they're saying. Well, how do we? So you got to put your information out there.
Well, sure. I mean, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I haven't posted anything to this account yet. Carbon Mike V2. That's Victor 2 on Twitter.
Carbon Mike V2.
V2. You can. There's a LinkedIn. Link tree with my information if you want to know more about my case and so on and so why I'm a political prisoner. The most important thing you can do, like let's say you find out about my case and why I am where I am, is to spread the word. Spread the word. The more people know about this case, the better. We want this to be a big political embarrassment for the Democratic Party. Because what they did in my situation, flies in the faces of everything they'd like people to believe about who and what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the most important thing is to spread the word about Dexter Taylor, aka Carbon Mike. And I'd also like people to just consider that underneath what I like to call a populist conservative revolution. We really require a deeper and stronger revolution, which is a spiritual one, or I'd say a religious one. And we really have to take the daring step of deciding that we're all one people. Of deciding that what happens to my neighbor is my problem. Even if I can't really do anything about it, it's still my problem. We have to take the step of deciding that we are going to love each other in this republic or perish. We have to, understand that we are actually dealing with principalities and powers. And we can't use their degenerate way of thinking if we want to fight them and win. We have to rise above it. And that doesn't mean saying the opposite of whatever they say. That means thinking from first principles about what is good, what is right, what is virtuous, what is true, what is beautiful. And then we've got a shot at taking this republic back. And if we fight hard and we're lucky, then our grandchildren will get to kind of play in the shade of the trees we planted. But that's what has to happen.
That's what has to happen. I couldn't have said that any better, bro. Could not have said that any better. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if we come together and we look at this situation, and I'm glad you brought the spiritual aspect into that situation, because that's what it comes down to be. That's bottom line what it comes down to be. Because if you believe,
no civilization,
no
religion, no civilization.
Yep. If you truly believe your Bible, if everybody on here, all the people, 400 people that we're talking to right now, if you're truly people of your Bible, you will understand that we are brothers and sisters, period, point blank.
Yes, sir.
And only difference is, I was out in the sun a lot longer than you was. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So, but
That's right.
but when it's all said and done, I mean, we all, like Dexter said, we want the same thing. I want to pay my taxes. I want to make sure the roads that I drive on don't have potholes on them. I want to make sure the police keep the slow drivers out of the left lane. I want them to be paid for that. That's the the only reason I care about police officers is to make sure that they keep people out of the damn left lane. That's their job. That's what I want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Doc J said, Rev Dexter, good to hear you. Anything worth doing, take some work. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Doc J.
Thank you.
That's Doc Jay said it said it's good to hear. It's good for us to be back on, man. I missed you. Being out here talking to you, with everything. So, but yeah, man, everything's good. And we get to hear how you're doing. And that's what's important to us,
sir.
Is how, like I said,
Yes,
it's how you doing. So I am happy to hear your voice. So let's see how Carl, I don't have anything to do next Sunday. So, I'm down about the same time. If you can make the same time, we'll see how Carl is doing. Again, people, let me just say this here before we get off of here is, our friend Carl, who does, if it was not for Carl, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be able to do this.
Right.
And right now, one of our brethrens, and he's your brethren too, is literally, as we are speaking right now, he is in the hospital, on a hospital bed. He had a stroke, but he's somewhat well enough to be able to help us bring this Dexter to you and give us this opportunity to do this. So a big shout out to Carl tonight. Like I said, without him, this is not possible. Right? So in your prayers, please, ma'am and sir, we're begging you right now, add Carl to your prayers, because, again, he's a brand new dad. That's another thing. That's another reason why my heart goes out to him. He's a brand new dad. You know what I mean? So I'm praying that this brother gets better. I'm praying that this man walks out of there very, very healthy and be able to brag about.
You have 1 minute left.
Go ahead. Go ahead and kick it out and finish it off, Dexter.
Yes, sir. Well, of course, big shout out to Carl. Big shout out to all my conservative peoples out there. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's take the fight to the enemy. Let's take the political fight to the enemy. Let's keep this thing going, and let's win. That's it. That's it.
Sounds like a deal, bro. Hey, we'll see you. We'll see you next Sunday. How's that? We'll just put it out there, and if God's willing, God's going to make it happen, right?
Amen. Blessings to you and the family, brother.
Hey, back at you, man. Back at you. We pray for you, and you have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon, bro.
You too. Love you, brother.
Love you back, brother.
Thank you for using
Bye now.
Securus. Goodbye.
Hey, people, again, thank you very much for coming and hanging out with Dexter and I as we talk about some of everything. And like I said, we try to mesh it up about a lot of conversations that should be had and we would like to see had. Like I said, especially when it comes to the Republican Party. It's time for the Republican Party to figure out that, just because they won the White House, that don't mean that they should just stop and go, well, we use the black people like the Democrats use us, and nothing comes of it at all. With that whole situation, that pretty much the black males pretty much helped get Donald Trump in the White House, and I don't see any progress coming from Donald Trump, especially when it comes to the black males, right, at all. So. But at the end of the day, man, like I said before, we are God's people, and I hope each and every one of you can put on the glasses and see that we are all God's people, and then going from there. But I will be back on Monday. I have not been around, and I will tell you why on Monday. So if you're not doing anything, come jump into space at 7:00 tomorrow on Monday. And we're gonna smash it up a little bit. We're gonna rip it up. Y'all have a good night. Again, appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with us. Be good to each other. And again, pray for Carl. Please, ma'am and sir, pray for Carl. I believe in prayer. I believe prayer works. Y'all have a good night. Peace, fam. We out.